My name is Derek, and I'm a lifelong Spokane resident, and I'm a graphic designer. I do web design, branding, logo design, print design, and here at the Millwood Printworks, my focus will be with screen printing of posters and other things like that. So I got into gig posters early on in my graphic design career, just through exploring different types of art and things that were out there. And I'd never really paid attention. I mean, I had seen gig posters before, but once I started to really pay attention, I realized just how cool they are and just how unique and how individual of an expression that they are of the artist and sometimes the band. Bands like to give their artists free rein to design whatever they want as long as they have the show information on it. They're stoked to see what the artists come up with. One of my favorite bands whose music I really truly enjoy, they're called My Morning Jacket. I just decided to start reaching out to their management to try and get an opportunity to do a poster. And it took a little doing, it took a little bit of phone calls and a couple of emails and just kind of being persistent to finally get them to give me an opportunity. And so to this point, we've done, I believe, 7 posters total for them, including some t-shirt art. And I've even been on the phone and in contact via Facebook with the bass player. That right there, it's like, I'm a huge music fan. I'm a huge fan of this band, and I'm obviously a huge fan of art. So to kind of bring all that together is just awesome. But for a long time, I mean, even our posters that we would do for the bands, they have to be printed over in Seattle because there's just nobody here that is even available to do this kind of work. There are artists that do their own printing and probably would occasionally do some commercial work for people if they asked them to, but no one really has a decent studio or a shop set up. So this is something that I've been wanting to have in Spokane for a long time, at least 10 years. And since nobody else is doing it, I guess I'll do it. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into screen printing. I think physical screen printing in this art form is important as a graphic designer because so much of what has become of the field of graphic design, for good or bad, is really kind of been reduced down to what you can do on the computer. And with the idea that you just hit Command P and it shoots it out of a printer, there's some magic lost. And with this kind of art form, the art doesn't stop when you go to print it. You're still being an artist. You're still, lifting the screen up, you put the paper down, you get it lined up, you get the ink on top of the screen, you put the thing back down and pull your squeegee across it, making decisions as you go as to, I'm gonna push a little harder to get more ink through on this one, or I'm gonna go a little less, or I wanna do this, or I wanna do that. It's so much more satisfying because not only is it art in the sense of what it looks and feels like, it's also art in how it's produced. Your hands are on it the entire time. Whereas with the digital whatever, once it's done and the file is saved, there's nothing unique about that process. I mean, the artwork itself might be very cool, done by a very talented person, but once it gets to that point where it's just become a digital file that goes to a press, something's lost there. Whereas with this, it's something that's growing and evolving all the way through the process.